And please, this class is going to be very, very interactive. It's going to be extremely interactive. So I'll call your name randomly. I'll ask you questions. Please stay prepared. And also, you will have a quiz at the end of this session. You'll be having a quiz. So prepare yourself for the quiz. So you're welcome to data analytics training brought to you by the United Nations and Data Analytics Elite. Okay, so this is your facilitator. My name is Irimide. I'm a with close to a decade year of industry experience in automating restructuring reports and dashboards using analytical tools such as SQL, Power BI, Excel Online, Google Sheets. I've backed a lot of global certificates as a data analyst, among which are the Harvard Edge Computer Science Certification, Microsoft Certified Data Analyst Associate, Akarank SQL Certification, Apache Airflow Fundamental Certification. I am passionate about helping people gain mastery in data analytics. And I believe business knowledge plus tech skills will actually give it a relevance. Right? I feel that those two have to go hand in hand. And I'm excited to learn and collaborate with everyone who is interested in executing data projects, mobile and web application, and AI projects. So this is the course structure for today. We'll talk about how it all started, what is data analytics, why is data analytics important, steps involved in data analytics, who is a data analyst, type of data, and we'll have our first quiz session. Then we'll have a case study analysis with Microsoft Excel. Then I'll tell you how to get started in data analytics, applying data analytics to real world scenario, career paths in data analytics, how to collaborate with others as a data analyst, and data analyst certification. All right, are we still in check? Awesome. All right, so this is how it all started long, long ago, right? For everything that we see now, every trend that we see in this industry started a very long time ago. Data analytics, the word data analytics really came into the limelight in 2020 when we had the COVID-19 shutdown and everyone had to stay home because of the COVID. But data analytics started way long before 2020, right? If we look at the times, in the time of Egypt, that is before maybe the Bible, AD, and all of that, the way we get data, the way we count things is with tally number. And I know that we have people old enough in this session. There were a time you go to the bank and they will give you a tally number and you have to learn, 1, 2, 3. And when you cross it, that is a 4. And when you had another one, that is a 5. You learn how to count with tally number. This is the early form of data analytics. It's about just counting and understanding numbers. Then we have the age where we started keeping proper records manually. So as the world grew bigger, people needed to keep records. Government started, collecting population data. You will have the king of Rome then wanting to know how many people are in his constituency and jurisdiction. And they will do something called census. That is counting the people in a particular region to know how many they have. Business started tracking expenses. We will have a book written, you have a book, a notebook, whereby you write whatever it is you sold for the day, how much you bought it, how much you sold it. And maybe at the end of the day, you have to balance your books by yourself manually. We also have banks recording money transactions manually. I'm sure quite a number of Gen Z might not even relate to taking the teller, going to the bank, taking a teller, and then using it for your payment transactions and when you want to receive money, right? Banks also recorded transaction, but everything was done manually but organized. So when you go to the bank, you have the pink slip. The pink slip is for deposits, and you will have maybe the green or the white slip that is for withdrawals. And all of these slips will be, organized in their own different boxes, and they will be analyzed manually, either at the end of the day, at the end of the week, or at the end of the month. So still thinking about how we started, then we moved from 1960s to 1990s to the 1950s and 2000. This is when computer came, right? Where we have the very big mainframe computers that could take an entire room. And we have companies like IBM coming up very newly with, computers and helping us understand what computers can do. At that time, we learned, how to use computers. I think for us in Africa, we were more focused on typewriters, you know, but computers could store a lot of data for us. And at that time, global businesses were already using softwares like Microsoft Excel, and data could be calculated faster and more accurately. So instead of us doing the manual work, whereby you would take all your payment slip from the bank and use a calculator to calculate, all of the withdrawals or what's the word again, savings transactions for that particular day, computer could do this for you, right? So this is where data analytics started becoming powerful. And now we are in the big data era. And when we talk about big data era, it just means that we have a lot of data being generated daily. So from social media, from our applications that we use, the transportation app like Uber, Bolt, Taxify, our shopping app, we have the Jumia, Shopify, just name it. We keep generating data. From social media, phone, website, we create data. So companies like Google and Amazon, they use data to understand people. We have tools like Excel, Power BI, help turn data into charts and insights. All right, so using this analysis of big data and started, right? I want us to do a quick exercise right on this call. Like I said, we are all in this together and we'll be doing this together. So I'm back to the chat box and I want to ask you a question, right? So we have this tip that says data analytics now help answer questions like what do a customer like, right? So I want us to look at it. I'm giving you this scenario now. You have a married woman. You want to sell to a woman that is married. She is in her mid-40s, right? What do you think she would like? Please, let's have it in a chat box. You want to sell a product. You don't know what you will sell yet, but you're looking like, I want to sell a product to a woman and she's in her mid-40s. What do you think such customers like? What are their patterns? That's what I'm asking you for. What are the patterns of such woman, right? Such woman, if we are to expand this case study, probably has a child or two or more that they are currently nursing. Like I said, she's married, so definitely she has a husband. So what are the things you think she would like? I want to see in the chat box actually. What do you think this kind of woman will like? I'm checking the chat box and I'm yet to see any message. Please, let's put it. What do you think she will like? Is it shoes, bags, children clothing? Because, at that age, she's more focused on her children. At that age, she's more focused on her husband. Or at that age, she's more focused on her career. I want to see your suggestions. What do you think such a person or such a woman? I have baby product generally, children clothing, okay, toys, children books, clothing. Please, I want more. Washing machine, Okay. Please, I want more responses, more responses. What do you think a woman in her mid 40s will like? She's married, she has a child or two at that age. Okay, women supplements. Awesome. Awesome. Please, I'm checking the chat box. I really want to see more comments. Like I said, we are in this together. We are here to learn. Right? What do you think such woman will like? We don't know what we want to sell to her yet, right? We just want to know what are the things you think she would like. Need errand services. Okay. To be more productive with other needs. Awesome. 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 Please, I'm actually checking the chat box because we'll use this data. These are data that are being generated right here. And we will use this data very soon to make a decision. So, what do you think such woman will like? I'm still checking. We are about 16 on this call, and I'm not seeing 16 responses yet. Hello, mic check. Can you hear me? I guess my screen is no longer up.
Yes, but we can hear you.
Awesome. Awesome. So let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. What do you think such a woman will like? We are going to use this data very quickly to make a decision. Please, can you see my screen? All right, is my screen back? Okay, my screen is not back. All right, I'm working on that right now. Okay, I'm working on that right now. So, but let's go to the analysis that we are currently looking at. Right, the question I asked. So I'm going to the chat box now, and we'll review all of these answers that we've given. And this will now inform us on what we should sell to this woman. So I have baby stuffs. She will need machines that can make her choice easier, baby product for herself and extra help, vacuum cleaner, dishwashers, washing machine and the likes. Other than that, children clothing, school bags, lunch bag, boxes, shoes, support to manage the household. All right, so based on all of this data that we've generated now, let me ask you another question. What should we sell to this customer? Another question, what should we sell to this customer based on what you've seen in the chat box? We are not even using anything to analyze this information here. We're just looking at what data we've currently generated, right? We can see that for this kind of woman, if we have to sell anything to her, what we are selling to her is what? Things that has to do with our children and our family, basically, right? Things to help, mostly things about the children. Either things to make the house just easy so that she can better manage the children and the home, or baby products based on the data that we've generated. Now, as a company, that want to specialize in selling products for women in their mid 40s. What will happen next? You see that I have all the information for me to sell my product and actually become profitable at it just from this little sampling that we have here. And this is what social media, when you have the social media ads, this is what you do, right? They collect data. I was speaking at an event earlier in April, and I was giving an example of when this company came into Nigeria, the company called OPay, when they came into Nigeria newly, right? What they did for the first 2 years they were in this country, they were not selling, they were not making any money, but they were just collecting data. At that time in 2018, 2019, we do not understand the value of data. It hasn't really come to us that, oh, data is a thing and data is valuable. So what they did was they came with an application called O Food and O Ride. Then they partner with all of this local food vendor sellers in the environment. Then they'll tell you on our application, you can order food for 10 naira, 20 naira, and they will have it delivered to you for free. And a lot of us, even I as a victim, like I also subscribed. I brought a lot of people from my organization hello, hello, mic check. Can you hear me? Check. Can you hear me here? Yeah. And I also subscribe. Hello. Hello.
Hello, we can hear you, ma.
Awesome. So as I was saying, I also subscribed right to that, and I brought in a lot of people, a whole lot of people registering with their app. I know we're buying food at 10 naira, 20 naira. We didn't know what they were doing. We thought, oh, this company, they didn't know what they are doing. They're just selling food to us at a very cheaper rate. We were just giving them we are giving them our data for free. And they were taking our data because you sign up, put your name, email address, phone number. They will ask you some questions about yourself. You will answer those questions. And we were just giving our data for free to this company. And they built a big organization on that. Their current application, OPay, runs on that data sampling that they took for like 2 years. It ran on it and it's still running on it because everything they are building is really for us. So as a company, based on the data that we've collected right on this call, now if I'm to ask what would happen next, I know what kind of product to sell to a woman who is in her mid-40s, that is married, has a child or two, and has a husband. Because from this call, we've just proved that. And once I still keep pushing out this product with social media, have the support of social media ads and influencer, I will build a profitable and scalable business from data. So that is how important data is. Now, let me go to the next that says, what is data analytics? I don't want you to bother about my screen. It will come up very shortly. I'm on that already. But let me just continue. What is data analytics? What is data analytics from all that we've said? Because I know some things have been common in what I said, right? Decision making. Data analytics is looking at numbers, data, to understand something and make better decisions. It doesn't have to be numbers in terms of figures 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It could be text, just like we had in the call, right? So it's looking at data to understand something and make better decisions based on what you want to understand. Now, so data refers to raw facts figures or details collected from various sources. It can be in different forms, such as numbers, text, images, or videos. Data is the foundation of data analytics because it provides the information needed to analyze and make decisions. There are two main types of data. We have the quantitative data, like I said, the one that's to do with the numbers, the numeric information, sales figure, temperature. Then we have qualitative data. This has to do with descriptive information, customer feedback, reviews. Do you know people even go as far as analyzing your page? You can analyze your Instagram page, your Twitter page, X, TikTok. You can analyze your page, not just your page. There can be a particular topic. Currently, there's the World Cup is currently, being it's really out there, and we have a lot of countries who qualify, throwing out videos about the upcoming World Cup. You can actually analyze that data to predict which country is likely to win the World Cup. And that is something that we're actually doing in our academy. Like we started it earlier in April and we'll be ending it by the end of April. All right. So data is processed and analyzed to find patterns, trends, and insights that helps in decision making. Now, analytics is the process of examining data to find patterns, trends, and insights. It involves using tools and techniques to interpret data to make informed decisions. Now, let me just give you a very simplified example of what data is and what analytics is. Right? Majority of people on this call are women, and we all cook. Right? If I want to blend pepper, I will need pepper, right? Pepper, tomatoes, bell pepper, whatever, different species of pepper that I want to blend. I will have that. That pepper in its raw form is data. Now, when I put that pepper in a blender, right? The blender is the analytics. The blender is the engine that takes the raw pepper, blends it into something smooth that can use to make stew, to make jollof rice. You understand? So stew, jollof rice is the end of jollof, right? You like ingredients of that we use to make the food, the jollof rice, where you put the water, the rice, the pepper, everything. That is the analytical engine. That is the analytics there. Then the end result is a sumptuous jollof rice. Please, can I get thumbs up to be sure that we are right on track? Thumbs up, everyone. Thumbs up, thumbs up. You're following, you're with me. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay. So now let's move on. So why is data analytics important? Why is it important? Data analytics help for improved decision making. With data analytics, as a business owner, whether you work for a department or you own a business, you know exactly what decision you're making. You're not just selling things because, somebody says it's going to sell, or because you feel like, let me just sell this particular product and I'll make a lot of money, right? You are selling because there is data backing that number up. If I want to sell baby products now to a 45-year-old woman in her mid-40s that has a husband and children, automatically you know that whatever baby product I'm pushing out or whatever help that I'm pushing out to help our house chores or help her take care of the kids better, help her run errands better, it will actually sell. This is not based on, I feel like this thing will sell. It is based on the data that we've collected in this session and we've analyzed. So data analytics help to improve decision making. Data analytics help for better customer service. Right, through data analytics is why a lot of banking organizations now are able to have self-service options. And you don't have to go to the bank to do anything. You can do all on your phone and can serve you better. Data analytics save money and boost production. Data analytics also helps for effective marketing. With data analytics, it can guide you into valuable insights into how your marketing campaign is performing. Did you actually hit the right customer group or not? With data analytics, you will be able to have that. And that is why you see when you run social media ads, there is always a report because they need to tell you how many people did this ad reach, how many people did this ad convert. You need to have that information so that when next you're running a similar ad or you want to run something similar, you will be working based on data. All right. So that is the importance why data analytics is important. Then I have this, my next slide says, what are the steps involved in data analytics? Now, what are the steps? Where do you start from? How do you get started? What are the steps involved in data analytics? Number one, we have understand the problem. You need to understand the problem that you're trying to solve. Everything starts from problem statement. What problem are you trying to solve? Oh, United Nations Alliance of Nigeria wants to involve more women in tech training, in data analytics training. That is a problem. That is a problem that is being solved. Oh, I want to sell a product to a woman who is in her mid-40s that have a child and a husband. That is a problem. You need to understand the problem. What problem is the organization exactly trying to solve? Oh, increase in profit margin, right? Reduction of expenses for the organization. What is the problem? Then you need to collect data based on that problem. So the next step is data collection. What is the problem they are trying to solve first? Now you need to collect data based on that problem. You can't try to know the problem affecting an organization that is going through fraud, and then you are taking data that is non-relevant to the problem you're trying to solve. The data should be in line with the problem you're trying to solve. And when you take this data, most times this data doesn't come clean. When I talk about data coming clean, is in tabular forms, right? The way we have Excel appearing in rows and columns, right? You need to be able to put your data in a structured tabular form and to prepare it for analysis, right? That is part of data cleaning. You need to check, are there any missing values in this data? If you're trying to detect if an organization has involved themselves in fraud or anything, and you have some of their bank statements coming and some transactions are blank, definitely it's not possible for a bank statement to have blank transactions. So that means something is wrong. You have missing data. You have missing values. Right? So you need to check the correctness of your data. You have to clean up your data to ensure that the data is correct and is of quality. Then you have data exploration and analysis. This is where you do the analysis. You plug that clean data and you put it into a data analytics engine. It could be Excel, it could be Power BI, it could be SQL, it could be Python, it could be Tableau. You plug it in for analysis. And while plugging it in and you have your different dashboard, which we'll do very quickly in this session, you can identify things like when a customer is likely to purchase the next product. You can understand how long it took to deliver a product. You can have better insight on the kind of items a customer looks for. Or do customers return your product? Or what product do customers frequently return? To understand if that product has an issue that needs to be corrected. You'll be able to predict the sales and profit for the next quarter. You can also minimize other cancellation. That's if you work for an e-commerce organizations like Jumia, Konga, or Temu, you can minimize other cancellation by dispatching only relevant product. You'll be able to figure out the shortest route to deliver a product or when a product should be delivered. Then we have interpreting the results. So this is the last step involved in data analytics. We can go over it again. We have understand the problem. We have collecting the right data that is in line with the problem. The data to be sure that that data is accurate and complete. Now, plugging that data into a data analytics tool, that is number 4. And number 5, we have interpreting the results. The final step is to interpret results and validate the calculations. Here you find the end goal is beautiful, is colorful, and nobody can make decisions out of it. You've just wasted time. The end result of data analytics is decision making. Someone should be able to make decisions. So if you're not a final decision maker in the organization, somebody who is the final decision maker or a key stakeholder or a key decision maker should look at your analysis and make decision with it. That is your power as a data analyst, that the organization can rely on the accuracy of your data to make effective decision. Now, of all we said, who is a data analyst? A data analyst is just a person that does all of the things I've been talking about. The data analyst is a professional who collects data, process it, analyze data to help organizations make informed decisions. They transform raw data into meaningful insights using statistical method, tools, and technology. So all that I've been speaking about, the person that does all of this, either for their own organization or for other organization, is a data analyst. And we have types of data analysts. This is one part of data analytics that I love most. And if you really understand this part of data analytics, it will really help when you're growing in the career as a data analyst. Now, we have prescriptive analytics, right? What does prescriptive analysis mean? It's just asking you the simple question. Oh, what has happened? What has happened? So let me give you an example. All right. Currently, it is hot in Nigeria. It's quite sunny. And it's been sunny for a while. Like we've not seen rain like that this year. Right? So what has happened? Rain is not really falling as it would have on a normal day. So there is a lot of heat in the country. Now, if I'm going to give you another case study of another company. So I work for Nestle, right? That's an example. I work for Nestle. And what Nestle sell is hot coffee. So we have these guys that push coffee around during the raining season and they serve you hot coffee. So I work for this company, Nestle company. Now we are selling hot coffee to the market. But what has happened is sales has declined drastically because it's not raining. Nobody wants to drink a hot coffee in a hot weather, right? So now diagnostics analysis will now tell you why are sales dropped? Why did what happened happen? We are analyzing here. What happened? Descriptive talks about sales has dropped. What happened? Work with past data because you're talking about sales has it's dropped. It's past data. If from today, tomorrow, all through next week, it start raining, definitely sales is going to pick back up. All right. So what happened is sales has dropped. Now, the second type of data analytics about why did it happen? I've given you, I've given you a reason to say, oh, because of the hot weather that we are in, then sales has dropped. Now let's go back to the chat room. Let's go back to the chat room. All right. Can someone give me another reason why you think sales has dropped? Why did the sales drop? Aside the weather being hot, is there another reason why people will not want to drink hot coffee? Let's have that in the chat room, please. So I'm going to the chat box now and I'm checking. So why would anyone, aside a hot weather, why will anyone not want to drink a hot coffee? I'm checking. Please, if you are giving me, let's be fast about that, right? Okay, Ismail, this is beautiful. If a better substitute exists, awesome. Yes. Possible increase in price. Oh, brilliant. I prefer something else. Exactly. Awesome. Also, these are why. So these are reasons why sales can drop, right? So I have here, if the sales guy probably moves around when most people are already at work, definitely you won't go to their offices to serve the coffee on their table. So yeah, there won't be sales. Also, please let's have more. Why did the sales drop? I have given the first example to say the weather. So why did it drop? I'm expecting more. More. This is exciting. Why did the sales drop? A better substitute is this. Awesome. Possible increase in price. Prefer something else. The sales guy moving around when most people are at work. Now let's move to the third type of analytics that talks about predictive analytics. Now we know what has happened. Okay, Josephine says the coffee is no longer so the taste, right? No longer taste nice. Affordability. So let's move to the third type of analytics. We have predictive analytics. Now, that is what sales drop. What we have several reasons why sales value drop. Can cold coffee, like iced coffee, during the hot weather, and serve hot coffee during the cold weather, right? So that is me predicting, say, so this is what is likely to happen in the future, right? You serve, if you really want to maintain sales and be in business, you either serve cold coffee or iced coffee during hot weather, and you serve hot coffee during the cold weather. So that way there is a balance. And we won't just say, oh, entirely sales has dropped and we are only selling hot coffee and we are not able to move, right? Or to think differently. Now, based on the reason that you've given, let's have it. What is likely to happen in the future? What can you predict for the organization? What can you predict for the organization? What do you see?
Okay, I have Florence say, move around in the morning when the weather is a bit cold and people are on their way to work so they can get it. Beautiful. This is beautiful. If this is the only response we have, this is beautiful. But really, I really want to hear from others. I want to hear from others. What is likely to happen in the future? What is likely to happen in the future? And while we are thinking about that, I'll move on to the fourth type of data analytics, talking about the prescriptive analytics. Now, here we are talking about what is the best course of action for the organization. What decision should the organization make from here as a key stakeholder in that organization, as a general manager, a team leader? What should the organization do with the information that we've generated right on this call? What should they do? What is the best course of action? Remember, I said the end goal of every analytics is decision making. It has to help somebody make decision. Somebody has to make decision with your analytics. It is very important that there is a decision. So now prescriptive talks about that decision, giving them the best course of action to pursue as an organization. Now let me have it on this call. What is the best course of action for Nestle? Improve on the taste and affordability also. Oh, okay, improve on the taste and affordability. Also, the sales man should stay at a strategic place where people are always passing. Also, awesome. So you see that with data analytics, really, you don't really have to learn all of the sophisticated tools to be able to do basic analytics. If I give you a recap of all we talked about how we started, how data analytics started, and we've come to know that it started way before all of these buzzword and trends that we are currently seeing. So data analytics is something that you can do for yourself. If you own a business, something you can do for your business, and I encourage that you do it for your business and for your organization. If you're a customer service person, business development manager, you need to learn to do analytics. Even if you can't use the data analytics sophisticated tool, but with what I've shown you right here on this call, you can see that you can do analytics. All right, so I'm moving on to my next slide, and here we'll be having our quiz session. So I want to test our knowledge of all that I've been talking about this morning. How well do we understand it? And from here, we will move to the next phase of this training. So we have 6 minutes now to 4 p.m. So please, you can either use the QR code on the screen, scan the QR code. I will drop the link in the chat box for those who want to use the link and can't scan the QR code. You can either use the link or the QR code. And I really want to see you in the quiz room, right? Let's test our knowledge. Let's see how far all that we've learned in this session. All right? Please scan the QR code, and let's have you in the quiz room. Let's test our knowledge. Okay, so I'm moving to the quiz room now. I have Esther and Florence here. I have Philomena. I'm waiting for quite a number of you, right? I'm waiting for quite a number of you. Okay, I have 6 people here. We are over 20 on this call, right? So I really want you to be here. Please, let's go to our quiz room. Let's go to our quiz room. Let's test our knowledge. Let's see how much of what we've been able to grasp so far. How much of the training do we understand before we move to the next phase of this training? Um, 4 minutes now to the end of this. Okay, we have 2 minutes to the end of the quiz. We have 2 minutes to the end of the quiz. I have 22 people on this call and only 12 people are partaking in the quiz. That is not fair. The rest of you, please join in. If you have any challenge with the quiz, do you need a quiz link? Tola, please, your hand is raised. You can ask questions. You can, if you don't have the link to the quiz, please, you can scan.
How do we
You
get
can
this
either
quiz?
scan,
How do we get the
you
quiz,
can just,
please?
you can scan the QR code. You can scan the QR code. And I'm also sending the link, the quiz link, to the chat box now. So you can check the link I dropped in. Okay, you are done. Just hold on. You can hold on. You can hold on. If it, my screen is visible, my screen is visible. Please, you can just scan the QR code or check the link in the chat box and join the quiz. I'm sending the link again. So if you can't see my screen, you can just click on the, oh, my quiz suddenly hanged. It's your network, so refresh your network. Tola, your hand is still raised. Do you want to ask questions?
I'll put down my hands now. Sorry.
All right, that's awesome. Okay, so I'm going back to the link to the quiz room. Okay, we have 18 people here. Awesome, we have 18 people here. Okay, I can see. Okay. I'm also checking anti-cheating. Oh. No AI. All right, we have 19 people here. That's awesome. Let's just try. Let's just test our knowledge. Okay, for those just joining the quiz, I'll give you 5 more minutes. So just take your time. All right, take your time. So you have 3 more minutes, then we can review the quiz. Yes, the materials will be shared. The materials will be shared with you. All right, we have 2 more minutes, please. Let's hurry now. Let's hurry now. Let's hurry now. So we have 1 more minute, please. 1 more minute. I'm sharing the result of the quiz shortly. So we can have our top three. We can have the top three and we can understand the class knowledge. That's very important for me. So 1 minute, please. Let's wrap up. 1 minute, please. Okay, I'm ending the quiz in 30 seconds. We are waiting for 3 people now. Please, I want to wait for you, but also we can't wait for so long. So please, I don't want to stop your quiz halfway. Okay. We are waiting for 3 people. Please, please, please. I'll have to end the quiz. Permission to end the quiz. We still have 3 people yet to finish, but we have to end the quiz. All right. So everyone who participated, thank you. I have class accuracy at 94%, and that is an A. So that means we are doing awesome, right? So I'm ending the quiz right now. We can have our top three. Okay, we have Ebenezer, Florence, Paige, top three. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I have quite a number of you having 100%. This is awesome. This is awesome. Please, a round of applause for yourself. A round of applause for yourself. A round of applause. A round of applause. This is amazing. This is amazing. So I'll take a 1 or 2 feedback. How was the quiz? 1 or 2 feedback. How was the quiz?
I don't know if it's just me, but I can't see your screen.
Oh, you. All right, my screen is coming up. How was the quiz? How was the quiz? Is my screen up now? My screen is. Hey. Okay, I have friendly, fun, and nice. It's funny how. Oh, Daniel, your network could not let you. Oh, so sorry about that. It's funny how I'm having network issues. On one device is perfect, the other device, that's where the screen is being shared, the network is quite not stable. But I would try as much as I can to salvage the situation. Please bear with me on this. I really don't know what's going on. They are connected to the same network, but different performance. All right. So this is what we have as our final report. right? And I'm taking responses from how was the quiz. Let me know what your experience was with the quiz session. Is it something you would like to do again? You know, I have friendly, fun, and nice. The quiz was fun, awesome. It was exciting. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Thank you so, so much for that. And I say majority, a lot of us had 15 over 15, which means we are paying attention to the session. And I think the list we have here, the person didn't finish. So I guess it was because of the timing. That was why, right? This is awesome. This is awesome. Well done. A round of applause to you all. So we are moving on to having a case study with Microsoft Excel. This is going to be a very short case study. And this case study, we are working with our own data, right? The data for this session, right? I've actually edited a whole lot of, I've moved things around, but I want to show you how data analytics works practically, right? How it works in practical terms. And the only way I can get to do that is to use a case study that we are familiar with. So the case study is the United Nations is trying to educate, make more women aware with technology. And quite a number of women have shown interest in data analytics. And we are right here on this call taking the data analytics training. Now we want to analyze this training and the information that has been gathered, right? I told you the first step for data analytics is understanding the problem. If we'll go back just a little bit, steps involved in data analysis, understand the problem. So the problem is we want to get more women aware about technology, about data analytics, right? More women should be aware about technology. And most importantly, more women should get involved in the data analytics career, either as a career or for their personal self, right? So that is a problem. You need to understand the problem. Now, data collection, we've collected data at the back end, right? So let me review. We've collected data at the back end. Don't worry, the names have been all changed. We've collected data at the back end, and this is data that we have right here of women that are interested. Maybe we have men that even registered low key. Who knows? But the case study is women is more for women, right? If you look at the gender, you can see some male. So some male also registered for this training, which is awesome. So now let's go. The next step is data cleaning. Now we want to clean this data that we've collected about the training United Nations Association of Nigeria is trying to get for the female, right? We have an ID number for each participant. We have their names, we have their gender, we have age bracket, we have are they available for a 1 to 7 day virtual training. We have a question that says, what stage is your business? We have another question that says, what stage is your career? Right. So these are the information that we have. But let's ask the question in data cleaning, is this data complete? Can someone answer that for me very quickly? I don't know if you can see my screen, but I'm going to bolden it right now. From what you can see, is this data complete? Please, you know how we do it, right? In the chat box. Let's have it in the chat box. From what you can see on my screen, is this data complete? I'm waiting. Is this data complete? You can just tell me, yes, it's complete. No, it's not complete. If you have more information, you can give me from what you can notice, what you can see right on your screen. Is this data complete? I'm waiting. So I have here, yes, all sections of the colon are filled. Yeah, Chinyere, yes, let's have that. Good, that's good. That's good, yes, all the colons are filled. So yes, when it comes to accuracy in terms of colons being filled, we can tick that as a yes. But is this data complete? Is it fully complete? I want someone with a different opinion. I want someone with a different opinion. Is this data complete? Okay, can you share with us the problem statement again? Okay, Ebenezer. The problem statement is United Nations Association of Nigeria wants to get more women involved in data analytics. Now they've sent a questionnaire out and women are filled this questionnaire. Now, this is the questionnaire data showing on your screen. Based on the steps of data analytics, we have understanding the problem, data collection, which they've done. Now we are in the third step, which is data cleaning, right? And I'm asking the question, is this data complete? Abiy said there are still some additional informations we need. Yes, they are. So let me show you something very quickly. If you look at the top of the column, top column, we have the ID number here. You have this saying 1.name. Then you have this 5.name. Just looking at it, it shows 1.name could be the first question in the questionnaire, right? 1.name could be the first section in the questionnaire to fill, but 2, 3, 4 are missing. Then we have 5, which is gender. Then we have 6, which is age bracket. Are you seeing the way it's going? Then we have 7. Then we have 8. Then we have 9. So with the way it's been arranged shows that, oh, some data have been taken out or have not been given to us. Why? It could be for privacy, right? Or maybe we do not need access to those data because they are personal informations. Do you understand? Right? Because when you're looking at data, you have to look at the entirety of the data from what you can, it goes from what you can see first. Data analytics is not about just putting it and plugging it into Excel and, doing all of it. You have to analyze first from what you can see. But now the question is, are the data that is missing, are they important? Are they that necessary? Without them, can we still proceed to make proper analysis and make good suggestion or recommendation at the end? Yes, because we have some vital information here that can help with our analysis. Now from here, I want us to put in the chat box some of the questions you want to be able to know from this data. What are some of the questions you want to know from this data? For me, I'll go first, which is number 1. I want to know the total number of respondents of this questionnaire or total number of women that showed interest, whether they are women or men, total number of people that showed interest in data analytics skill, right? Then I want to know how many of these people are female and how many are male, right? Then I want to know what is the age bracket of the respondent. How many of them are between 18 to 30 years? How many of them are above 30 years? All right. What else do you think we can also see? Okay, Aderonke has given our own. Please, let's go. I really want to see what other questions do you think we can answer with this data? Because we'll go right in to answer these questions and present it and make a decision. So I've given you 3. right? Total number of respondents, the gender of the respondent, and the age bracket of the respondent. So Aderonke said, which age group is most interested in tech? We'll find out. I want to know the number who wants to pursue career in data analytics. All right, we'll find that out, Modupe. We'll find that out. Please, let's have all your questions based on this data. Let's have it. Let's have all your questions so that we can find it through analysis, right? Okay. So I will go on and start the analysis. So first, having checked that all the columns are complete, what I would do is I'll bring in something called pivot table, right? So pivot table will help me with, like I said, I gave an example in the beginning. Say, if you want to blend pepper, you have your raw tomatoes, pepper, and stuff, and you have the blender where you put the tomatoes, pepper in it, that blends it and gives you a smooth pepper you can use for stew, jollof rice, and all of that, right? So this pivot table you're seeing here is like that blender, is working like the blender. You notice this is our raw data here. This is how it looks. Now, when we put it in the blender, this is what I get, right? Then from here, I can start building my analysis. Okay, so let's see. Total number of respondents. We have here 44, right? Awesome. Then we talked about the gender. So we have 41 female, 43 male. Awesome. So let's go. Then we talked about the age bracket. Okay. So from here, we can see that 18 to 30 are 17, 30 to 27, above 30 years, 27 of them responded. Okay. So let's see. How many of them are available to take the tech training? Oh, all of them are available for the tech training. Awesome. Okay. Modena said, which employability group shows more interest in data analytics? I mean, employed, recent graduate, undergraduate, NYC, and others. Okay. So let's do that. Which current stage in career? Then we have this, right? Then what stage of the business? We have this. I think based on the key data that we have, we've been able to work something out here, right? So I can call this my analysis sheet. I'm renaming the sheet now, and I can call this one my data sheet. The naming helps so that I know where I'm opening, right? So this next sheet will be called my visualization sheet. Now I've been able to get the data. I have plugged in it with an analytical tool in Excel, which is called pivot table. And I've been able to get this basic analytics, right? Did you just copy and paste on a pivot table? Yes. So I created the first pivot table and I copied and I just duplicated that one. So you can just, I've copied it. I came here, copied the first one, and I just duplicated it. I pasted, right? Then I changed the analysis into what I want to see per time. So I can create multiple pivot tables at once, right? Okay, now let's go to our visualization sheet because here, all that we want to see, we can see it right here. But we can't go about presenting this to say, oh yes, so this is it. In order to make this more visually appealing, right, and more insightful, we'll have to put it in a dashboard, right? So we call it dashboard. So here I will just go over it very quickly. So I just want to resize this. I want it to look like a dashboard, not with Excel, cell, and tabular format. So I'll remove all of these cells. These are called cells. I'll remove them, right? So I'll remove the grid lines. I'll remove the formula bar too, because I don't really need it, right? So let's go on, come to the Home tab. And so for one thing I do when I want to make analysis is you need to have a picture of what you want to create in your mind, right? So I've gone ahead of the training and I have come on Google. So this is Google. And I'm saying dashboard designs. And I came to images. So I checked all of these images. Okay, so which one is easier for me to work with? Which one can I recreate? And I'll be recreating this dashboard, right? So it doesn't have to be exact hook and sinker, but it gives you an image of what you are trying to present, of how it should look like, right? Modino is saying there is a column I feel it should be there. Skill stage, I mean beginners, intermediate, or expert. Yes, but we don't have that information, right? But we have to work with the information that we currently have. And when we are making recommendations, then we can add this into it. Say, oh, if this was there, right, then it can help us make more deeper analysis. So let's recreate this dashboard in Excel with the data that we have. Remember, data they used to create this might not be what you have, but it's just to have a visual of how your dashboard should look like at the end of the day. So I'm coming here and I'm giving this a deep gray color, or let me use blue. All right, since this is in line with the UNAN logo, let me make this more lighter. I think it's deep. All right. So now we are looking at the space we'll be building our dashboard on. I'll come to insert, get myself a shape, and just have so my dashboard should not exceed the shape that I have already done or that is on my screen. All right. So I'll give this a deeper color based on, okay, a lighter color and a deeper color on one side also. So let's do this. So I've gotten that done. Shape outline, no outline. I want it to blend in. Then I can bring in another shape. I hope you're following. I hope you're still with me. Make from here a shape fill. Okay. Outline. Let me use the same color for the outline. Awesome. So you can see that recreating our dashboard here, we already have something similar. We already have something similar already. Okay. So to ensure that my dashboard stays in place, I will have to group it or lock it together so that when I move one part, the other part also follows it and the two of them are not scattered all over my screen. Okay. So I'm doing this and I will I'll group the two of them together so that they align. So let's look at what other things we have. Okay, so I have this dashboard user at the top here, which I can do by bringing in a text box to say, let me see, good afternoon, Iremide, to make it look interactive like an application. Then I can bolden this up. You know, these are just, we've not even started the analysis at all. If you remember, we've not even started. Okay, so I have good afternoon, Iremide, then I can put it here. And then we can go into our analysis now. We have here total number of respondents. We have 44. Right? We have 44 here. Please, if at any time you can't see my screen, please do let me know. Right? So I'll create the first one. Then others will just be copy and paste so that we don't waste much of our time. Okay, so now I need the formula bar. So I'll get my formula bar back. And inside this box, I'll put my is equals to. Then I will not come and put 44. Nope. I'll reference from here. Okay, so I have my 44 now. I need to make this look better. Yes, I hope you're following. I need to be sure that you are with me. So I can put this as total number of participants, right? All right, because I need to be sure that you are with me so that we can all do this together. We'll send to back. Awesome. Okay. So we've gotten it the right shape. So let's see the text here. Okay, it has a deep color and these are in white. Okay, so let's go back. But this is not deep. We'll use a blue. Mm. Okay, shape outline, no outline. This one too, no outline. Awesome. So we have our total number of respondents here. Then we can just group this. Let us group it so that it becomes one card instead of several cards because we use different, right? So the next analysis we have here is female, whether they are male. So here we can decide how do we want to represent this? Do we want to use a pie chart? Do we want to use colon chart? I think a pie chart will represent it better. So here we are using this. So I'll just cut it off from here, come to our visualization, and I'll just insert it here. All right. So let me look for other analysis. Then we can analyze this. Okay. All right. So this one tells us, I'm sorry, I'm cutting it so it moves. All right. So we'll have the name and every other thing that will make it better to it. So let's see. Those who want to be employed. Does someone want to suggest a visualization we can use here? No, we can't use an Instagram, so let's use another one. Let's use a bar chart. All right. Copy and let's just paste. Let's paste. We'll rearrange. Then we have the last one. Sorry. Let me cut. Cut and paste. Awesome. Then we have the last analysis here. We will not represent this yes because it means all of them says they want to be a part of the virtual training, right? So that's just duplication. There's really nothing to represent there. So we'll move on to this other one, and we can use the colon. Yes, we can use the colon chart. Let's cut it and let's bring it here. So now we have all our visualization here. From it's still looking very messy. It's still looking very messy. So we'll have that cleaned up so that it looks great and everything stays aligned. We have our total number of participants already, which is fantastic. Right? Then we have here gender based on gender. Then we have here age group, right? So we'll change this total to gender analysis. All right, so I have this as gender analysis. I'll increase the font. I like the color the way it is. So I'll increase the font. The font here is 20. Okay, let me put it as 16. Then this one is age group analysis, right? So let's have it. Age group analysis. Please, the font size should be the same. This is 16. This also have to be 16, but this is 14. So let's increase it. All right. Then here, okay, I think our space is quite small. So let's expand a bit so that they can have enough space. Then this one is enough for students. Let's check here. Then that is current stage in career analysis. Please, naming is very important. How you name is very important. Current stage in career analysis, right? It has to be 16 too. And the last one talks about business stage analysis. Okay. Business stage analysis. Okay. So we have most of our analysis here almost done. So let's just add a little touch up to what we currently have here. All right. So for legend, let me add data label, remove the legend. Oh no, I need to have that legend. Let me see. So I can change where my data label will be. I think I like this more. So let me remove the legend. Awesome. All right. So we have male showing as 7%, female 93%. If this is not bolding enough, you might want to bolden it. And I can move the title up. Right? So let's align our analysis. I'll remove I'll remove the grid line. Okay. Vertical. Awesome. Then I can add the data label to this one so we can see the actual value. Then I can bolden this up also. All right, so our group age analysis is done. Then we are doing the last two analysis, or just putting them, prepping them so that they look good. And ensuring that it is well aligned and visible for the eye. All right, so alignment is key. Alignment is key in data analytics. So depending on the tool you use, you have to ensure that you align properly. Okay. Um, so this is, let's take out the legend. Let's add the data labels. Let's move the grid line. Let's move the horizontal axis so that it looks good. We can increase the the data labels, make it darker. Okay. So we have this. Then we have the last one, which is the business state analysis. I hope you are really following. I hope you are really following. Please, can I get a thumbs up that you are with me, that you are still with me here? Please. So I'm taking out the axis, not all of it, just the vertical axis. So as you gain mastery in data analytics, you know what to move around, right? So I'll make this bold, make it dark, increase it a bit. Let me increase this also a bit. And let me move the title up. Okay. And our demi analysis is done, right? But because we don't have much to do, this chart I can move. Oh, now these are things that happen if you don't get it correct. Okay, so I can move this to the middle since I don't have a lot of cards or wherever that I want to put it. I can even insert. So let me insert an image. Payment receipt in OPay. Sorry about that. Let me insert an image. Let me insert my image. No. In this analytics. Okay, let me see. So I'm trying to get an image, my image, in this analytics. So that it looks like an application, right? Where are my images? Okay. Okay. Oh, my image doesn't want. Okay. I want to see. Okay. Sorry, let me reinsert the image again. Let's have the image here. Over a cell. Oh, awesome. So this is my image. Okay, so I can put my image here. All right. So my image is here. So good afternoon, Iremide. I'm here, and this is our analysis for today using the data from this particular class session. Now let's see if some of the questions in the chat box, if that, let me get that right away. So I have the logo. Do I really have the UNAN logo? So let me check if
I
I
just
let's
sent
check.
it to you. Check your WhatsApp. I sent it to you.
Okay, you sent it. All right. So let me get the UNAN logo very quickly. I'm coming. Let me stop presenting. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I'm putting in the UNAN logo and doing this logo in it, and we can see how it will how it will look. Right. So I'm back to sharing my screen. Okay, so I have UNAN. Since I have a lot of empty space at the top, I can do whatever I want with it because it is my analysis. Right? Then I can bring in let me get its logo too. Okay, so let me just copy this, copy, and I'm pasting. Just Control C, Control V. But if it doesn't come like that, Control C, Control V, you can just come to insert pictures over cells, this device, and you just go to where that particular image is. So I'm hiding this. Okay. So we have it very big, and I'll reduce the size. All right. So I can have that here too. This alignment is very important. Alignment is very important. Check the top, bottom. Okay. So I have both logos here, and I can show you the final how it looks. Awesome. So this is our analysis that we're able to do right on the scroll. Remember, like I said, you might just need something to inspire you, but not necessarily having to copy it, put like and center. Like all of this home file message, we can add all of this information to it. But I don't want us to waste much time, making fashionable designs. But I can just add all of that beneath here, and it just add more beauty to the analysis. So this is what we have from our analysis. And I'm checking, does it answer the question to say, Aderonke said, which age group is more interested in tech? Now, from what we can see here, right? I think those above 30 are more interested in tech. From the analysis, we can see based on age group analysis, right? And based on current stage in career analysis, those who are employed are more interested than those doing NYSC, student or recent graduate. Then we have, I want to know the number who wants to pursue a career in data analytics. Well, from here, I will say virtually everyone wants to pursue a career in data analytics. Why? Because when the question was asked, would you like to proceed with a virtual training? Everyone said yes. So it shows that there is an interest. Now, what we can now do is at the end of the day, when after the data analytics course and another questionnaire is being taken, then we can now how many of them actually attended the training, right? Interest is different from actual, what actually happened. Now, which employability group shows more interest in data analytics? Those who are employed. And beyond those who are employed, sorry, beyond those who are employed, I can see here that those who have idea stage in business, register their business with CAC or startup. So ideally, business people, those who have idea of business, like or they have their own businesses, they are more interested in data analytics, right? They may be part of those that are currently employed, so they may be employed but have a idea stage. So that's another kind of analysis that we can do, a cross analysis. How many of them are employed but in idea stage? How many of them are employed but have a business registered with CAC? How many of them are employed but have a startup, right? To now see, putting this current stage in career analysis together and business stage analysis together, right? So we have those who have a business generally are also more interested in, data analytics, right? So, okay, Modena, I've talked about your skill level that should be there. So when we are doing recommendations now, we can now add it to say, oh, if next time when you're taking this a questionnaire, we need to add a section to identify whether they are beginners, intermediate, or experts in data analytics, right? Blessing First said, you are following me, but I was too fast. Yeah, if I had to go over it one by one, it would take a lot of time, actually. It would take a lot of time. Okay, so now we are done with our case study with Microsoft Excel. I'll run through the rest of my slide. How to get started in a data analytics part. Right, the goal of this training is to help you see what is possible with data analytics and to let you know that you can also get involved. It doesn't take too much. Data analytics is actually very simple and very easy. I know a lot of people have made it look like, oh, mathematics, calculations. It's really not about that. You have the Microsoft Excel, the engine does all the analysis for you, right? You just have to know how to move things around and you have your analysis. And with the invention of AI and all of the tools that we have here, very soon analysis is going to be plug and play. You just put in your data into it and it generates an end result for you. So what tool should you learn first? Let's talk about the technical part of getting started in data analytics. Microsoft Excel is the foundation for data analytics. It's very important. Microsoft Excel, then intermediate, you move to Power BI, Tableau, and then you can move to SQL and Python. But start with Microsoft Excel first. It's very, very important, right? Where should I learn from? You can learn from anywhere, right? You can learn either by going on YouTube, Udemy, Coursera, or you join a data academy, or you join data analytics elite community and learn. The skill, the tool is open. You can learn anywhere of your choice. If you want to learn with people, you might want to go for a data school or a community that offers data analytics training. And if you are more of a private person, you might want to do a private coaching in data analytics, or you sign up for a course on Udemy, Coursera, pay for a course and go through it privately. Now, what mindset should you have while learning? The mindset is you can do it, right? Against all of the noise to say data analytics is hard, it's actually easy and you can do it. And we actually even need you in the career path because we have a lot of Gen Z. And the disadvantage that it's giving us is we have a lot of people without the experience who know tech, right? But they don't have that business experience. They don't have that communication skills per se to really push for things. Like I said, data analytics has to end in decision making. Someone has to make decision with your analysis, right? It has to help someone make decision. So if it's not breaching that, you've not done anything. And these Gen Zs really do not have a voice to push in rooms where things really matter or where the real decisions are being made. They shy away from really like expressing the key things. Yes, they can be on social media and putting their voices and all of that. But when it comes to making real decisions, this generation are very lacking in that. And that is where you come in as an experienced data professional, because you're not just coming with just technical knowledge, you are also coming with years of experience that you've gained in the industry. So that is the mindset that I want you to have, that you are needed, especially if you are in your mid 30s, 40s, and 50s. You are needed to learn data analytics so that we can have a balance in the data ecosystem. Now, how do I practice what I've learned? You know, it's one thing to learn and it's another thing to practice. And for a lot of people, yes, it's easy to learn. I can take a course and learn. But when it comes to the practice part, that is where the problem is, right? At Data Analytics Elite, we have a monthly program called Build Data Project, where we pair you up with other data professionals to build projects in data analytics. And this will help you harness your knowledge and build portfolios in data analytics. But one way you can also practice is by using data analytics for yourself. If you have a business, use it for your business. Download your bank statement for the last 3 years in Excel and start analyzing it. Start analyzing your own spending behaviors and activities that you've indulged yourself in over the years. You can sit, analyze your own bank statement and make decisions with it. It helps you, understand your financial state, and then you can seek for help where needed or improve and become better. Now, what are the soft skills? We've talked about the technical skills to get started. Now, let's move to the soft skills. What will stand me out from others aside my technical skills? Yes, technical skills is there. Anybody can learn it. Anybody can pick it up and learn and become an expert in no time. But what stands you out is your personality, who you are, how you're able to communicate, how you're able to interact with other people. Interpersonal relationship skills is very important. Who you are, your personality is really what stands you out. Now, how do I leverage on my personality strength and manage my weaknesses? Everyone really have a strength and weakness, but when it comes to data analytics, you need to build on your communication skills, right? How you communicate, what you say, because it really matters. And also reducing errors in your analytics. You need to ensure that you are so diligent and you really have eyes for data. Like you can read with your eyes, you can spot even before you start putting into the data analytics engine. You need to ensure that, because it makes your analysis trusted. The moment your analysis lose trust is as good as you just losing the job or losing whatever it is you're doing when it comes to data analytics. Because once people do not trust your analysis or what you're pushing out, they will not follow it. So why spend hours time getting data, cleaning data, analyzing data, only for people to just view it for 2 seconds and then push it aside? So you have to ensure that you are up on your game, right? And you are as accurate as you possibly can be. And you have to be yourself and be authentic. We need the real version of you in this industry. Now, how do I apply data analytics in real life scenario? I've mentioned that you can use it for yourself, families and friends. Your family have a business, you can get involved, or you can volunteer for other organizations that need the service. of a data analyst, or you can get a job as a data analyst. Now, career paths in data analytics. You can become a business analyst, a data analyst, an operation analyst, a data manager, data engineer, data support analyst, data scientist, machine learning engineer, chief data officer. Like, the roles are non-ending depending on your skill level. So the more you get skilled, the more you keep going higher and higher in the career path in data analytics. And I'm really looking up to a lot of us becoming chief data officers, because we can't really let a Gen Z really handle that role, do we? I don't think so. And how do we collaborate with others in data analytics? You need to belong to a community like Data Analytics Elite Community. We are a community of highly skilled data professionals, and our goal is to mentor aspiring data professionals in data tools and technology. Our goal is to take you from beginner to expert, right? We will not do this overnight. It's not magic. It takes time. It takes weeks. It takes months, right? Depending on how well you are able to learn. Learning in isolation is not the best, right? So if you want to just go on YouTube, Coursera, Udemy, sometimes, if you've noticed, there's a particular video that you will see. By the time you try that same video word for word, you'll see that you're not getting the same result as what you're getting in the video, right? Then you can get very confused in that. Say, okay, so what happened? What did they do? How did they do it? So having a community, a place where you can go to ask questions freely is very, very important. So trying to learn in isolation and just do, okay, any question I have, I can just ask ChatGPT, is really not the best way to learn, right? And you also have you need to have a mentor and a guide. It's very important. I am here, I'm a mentor to thousands of people, and I can also be your mentor. I can be your guide because I've been in this career, and I can help you get started and kick the ball rolling. Now, having a structured path is very key, right? Having a structured learning path is very, very key, right? It's very, very important. You need to know, so what am I learning? Where do I finish? For example, those in the university studying medicine, they know, okay, I have to spend 7 years. This is the starting point, and the finish point is at the end of the day, I become a licensed medical doctor. So for data analytics too, is the same. There's a starting point and there's a finishing point, right? So a structured learning part is very, very important. And do not rush your learning pace. Grasp every concept properly before moving on to the next, right? We all have different capacity when it comes to assimilating knowledge. So go at your own pace. It's very important for you to go at your own pace. Understand Microsoft Excel very well before moving to Power BI or SQL, because the knowledge are interwoven. The moment you jump, when you get to Power BI, some things will get very, 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 very disturbing, and you have to go back to Excel to understand some concepts before coming to Power BI. Right? Even in SQL, there's some concept that you have to go back to Excel to understand it, then before coming to write the SQL code. So it's very important to get a grasp of a particular tool or a particular concept before moving on to the next. And also, you're not in competition with anyone but yourself, right? So go at your own pace. Motivate yourself regularly. Appreciate your progress, no matter how little it is. So once you get started, motivate yourself. The fact that you are here at the end of this call, get yourself a chill drink, maybe Chivita, whatever your best drink is, go get it, because you need to motivate yourself, right? For you to be here and staying for this is 2 hours plus, and we are still on the call trying to learn data analysis. You've done well for yourself to get this knowledge. So motivate yourself starting from today. Motivate yourself. And how to collaborate with others in data analytics. I said join Build Data Project after your course. This is one of our programs that is so fantastic, irrespective of where you've learned, whether you learned with other schools on YouTube, wherever, everybody's coming together to test. They want to test what you've actually learned to know, did you really understand the concept, or were you just rushing through classes and rushing through the videos? right? And talk to people when having issues with data analysis concepts. Speak up, right? I know ChatGPT is there. I know Gemini is there. All of this AI too is there. Cloud is there. They are beautiful tools. But please, let's speak up, right? Let's speak up. Let's be open. Let's be open. Let's ask people. People are also there. Every time it's not AI, right? Let's ask people, right? Let's be open to learn and be willing to teach others the little you know. You know, one thing I tell people is when they are looking for, oh, how can I grow? I know Excel now. What could I do? I said, that Excel, go and teach somebody. That little knowledge, you know, teach. Because when they ask you questions, you're forced to go back, do research, and then reply them. And that way you get better and better and better. Right? All of the skills that I've amassed has been due to the fact that while working for different organizations, I've faced problems that has caused me to go back to my notes, you know, research, come back with a solution. And that is how you become skilled in data analytics or even in any field. So let's teach the little you know, let's teach somebody. So now that you've learned a little about data analytics, I want you to go out there and tell someone about data analytics. Oh, I learned just a little gist. Oh, I learned this thing. I know I was in a class yesterday and they said this, that. Just have conversations with people about data analytics and you realize how much information you've actually taken from this session. And have a goal and associate with people who fit into your goal. Right. So have a goal. What is your goal? Where are you now? Where do you want to be? How can you incorporate data analytics into what you're currently doing? Have a goal and associate with people who fit into your goal. Right. So we are ending this session on this particular topic, data analytics certifications. The certifications that you can learn. You have the Google Analytics Professional Certificate. These certifications are good, but they don't necessarily validate the fact that you are so good in data analytics, right? In certifications. And most of those two, if you look at the name, Google, IBM, Microsoft, Tableau, they are all really after testing your knowledge on how well you know their tool. That's the cheat code I'm going to give you on this call. It's not really about how skilled are you in data analytics as a whole. It's about how much of their skill of their tool do you know? How much of there's this Google platform that they use for analytics. There's Meta, there's like how much of their tool do you know? Power BI is the questions you'll be asking in exams are just how much of Power BI do you know? Not necessarily validating the fact that you are highly skilled in as a data analyst. So I really want to put so much focus on certifications because they are good, but they do not tell you like how skilled you are as a professional. So you can get them, they are nice to have, but they should not be your entire focus, right? Becoming skilled should be your focus. And we'll end this session by saying if you want to join our community, yeah, we have a community. Just go for 1,000 naira per month. You get news about data analytics. Every Thursday, we have quiz to test our knowledge. And then we have partnership with Data Camp. We'll give you our Data Camp license for free for those who want to learn on their own. You have access to Data Camp for the next 1 year to take any course that you want in data analytics on your own pace if you join our community. All right, having coming to the end of this session, I want to say thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. The floor is open now. If you have any question, anything at all, you want to say, any question, please, the floor is open now. Thank you. All right, Blessing Paul is saying, please, before you end, please show me the copy and paste on pivot table. Okay, so I'll go to that very shortly. All right, okay, so my screen is up. So this is my pivot table. Right, this is my pivot table. It starts from this blue color here to here, right? So I will just highlight the entire thing, click on copy, go to a blank cell and click on, so I'm using this paste, this first paste, not this one. This one is paste value. This one is formula, right? So this first paste, once I put it there, I have another pivot table right there. Then I can now right click on it, click on show field list, and then change this pivot table to whatever it is that I want to change it to. You said not that one. So do you want to unmute your mic and let me know the one you're referring to?
Okay, is that one? Is that one? Sorry. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So we've come to the end of this session. Please, is there any question? Any question?
Good
Sorry,
afternoon.
please. While I was trying to type again, I did not focus on what you were doing. I was trying to type again. Please just don't be angry. Please just show me again. Sorry.
Okay. Please, if you have any, you can just raise your hand so that it is orderly and I can just call the names, or you can just put it in the chat box also. Right, whatever question that you have, you can put it in the chat box, or you can just raise your hand. For blessing, let me delete this again. Right, so I'm copying it from the top.
I think you know
Copy
what.
the
I think maybe you should start from the Excel document itself. How did you get to this point? So maybe that's what she's trying to understand as well.
okay.
Maybe as Dasha said, yeah.
From the Excel, you can just click on anywhere between your data, right? Go to Insert. Pivot table is the first option you see here on your left. You click on that and you have it. So it highlights the entire table range for you. And it asks you, choose where you want your pivot table to be placed, in a new worksheet or existing worksheet. To avoid any kind of trouble, just click on new worksheet. Then make sure you click this, add this data to the data model. It's very important. And what it works for is when you want to do things like standard deviation, count A, some of those formula, you won't get them if you don't click on this, right? So add this data to data model and click OK. So it brings you to a new sheet. You told it to bring you to put your pivot table in a new sheet. So it brings you to a new sheet. Then you can now place. So like I said, this is like a blender. They're ready to blend our pepper. This is like an engine. You need to know how this engine works. You need to understand how it works. We have filter, colon, rows, value. So you need to know where to do your placement. Right. So when you take a data analysis course, that's where I really want to go to all of that technicalities here. But I know already that once I put this my ID, so for every data has an ID. An ID is a unique identifier that is to count total number of respondents or total number of orders in a particular data, right? So I'm using the ID as my unique count. So I'm bringing my ID to my values. And once I drop it automatically, it counts for me. But it looks like my data is counting a different thing right now. My data is counting things. It's saying 990 data, but I don't have. Okay, summing it up. No, then I can come and say count, don't sum. So that's 44, right? So if I want to do other pivot tables, instead of me coming to my data, then coming to insert, then clicking on pivot table, then doing it all over again, right? Since I have this one created, I can just copy it, paste on another cell, and then move things around to get gender, paste on another cell and move it around for my age bracket. You understand?
Good afternoon, Remedy.
Understood. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we
Good
can
af-
have you, Karen.
Okay, thank you very much for your very enlightening course. I'm a researcher, so I deal with a lot of data. And shortly before applying for this or registering for this course, I was planning to go on Coursera to do a data analytics course. But you said something, and I think that strikes me a lot, that learning within a community is actually better than just going online to learn. So my question is, your community, do you have such trainings you do? For people that want to learn and that, we can have a kind of engagement back and forth with the trainer and the student and things like that. Do you do something like that? Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes, we have a training hub where we take aspiring professionals through the training. So from Excel to Power BI. But since you're just starting out, you have to learn Microsoft Excel. And as a researcher, you have to know what tools does your organization use. Because some research company use SPSS, um, and there's one other tool that is not so popular that research company use. So you need to be sure the tool that your company use, right? Except you want to also learn Excel for your personal knowledge, right? But if it's going to serve as okay, knowledge, your knowledge, and then to help your work within your organization, it's very important to know what data analytics tool does your organization really use.
okay, that's fine. But your community or your organization, you do training. I'm
Yes,
interested in that. Okay,
yes,
so
we
how
do.
can I link up with that? And then, what's the next steps for that? Because it's something I'm interested in.
Okay, so the next step will be to join our community, right? That's where you can find all details about our training and all. Is to join our community. But since I have your email, you got an email for this training, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I will just send everything to your email. So I'll send the link to join our community. Once you join the community, then we can take it off from there.
Thank you.
Any other question? Any other question before we call it a day?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. You are one of the three men in our analysis.
Yeah. So, firstly, I want to
I want to
say a
say
very
a
big to
very big
you,
to you.
a very big thank you to you.
To you.
The
The
meeting was very
meeting was very
insightful.
insightful.
So, to
So
start
to
with,
start with,
I'm also
I'm also
former
former
a
Sorry, are you
member.
using multiple
people
devices? Because
devices because
sorry.
sorry.
Yeah, can you hear me
Yeah,
clearly
can you hear
now?
me clearly now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to
What
say
I'm
is
trying to
that
say is that
I was
I
part
was
of
part
those
of those
people whom you
people whom you
mentor
mentor
last year on
last year on
Excel. Then
Excel. Then before we want
before we
to
move to
move to
SQL,
SQL, then uh,
um this
this
Power BI
Power
stuff.
BI stuff.
So
So
I have like a major
a
like three
major like
questions
three
to like
questions to
ask.
like ask.
So the first
So
one
the
is
first one is
you were saying
you were
something
saying
about
something about
trust.
trust.
That is
That
when you are
is when you are
making your
making your
analysis,
analysis,
there should be the
there should
trust
be the
there.
trust
How
there.
can you
How
build
can
it?
you build it?
Okay. The other two questions, or do you want to answer them one at a time? You can just
Then
Then
the three questions here.
okay. Then the
okay.
second
The second
question,
question:
when it comes
when
to
it comes to
accuracy,
accuracy,
what do we need to
what do
put
we
in
need to
place?
put in place?
Then the third
Then the third
question,
question:
Accuracy, right?
when you
when you
started
started
learning data
learning data
analysis,
analytics,
what can you
what
say
can
is
you say is
your
your
weakness or what
weakness
you
or
like
what you like
found
found
most difficult
most
to do?
difficult to do?
Then, as a
Then
newbie starting data
starting data
analysis, what
analysis,
would be
what
your
would be your
advice to them?
advice to them?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ismail, for that question. And so when I started data analysis, one of my weakness was communication, which I had to learn to build over time because I was working for a conglomerate. I was working for Nigerian Breweries. And I was I was a national data analyst, and I had to work with like the sales manager, sales director, sales manager, um, a regional manager, and like eight or I was like was it 12 managers, and different like each of them needs different kind of analysis from me. So communicating the language that each of them wants to hear was really very difficult starting out. I had to know how to communicate to a sales director and how to communicate to a sales manager. There are two different ways. There are two different things they want to see, right? A regional manager might sit with your Power BI and be trying to look at the chart one at a time. But a sales director doesn't have the time. You want us to put the analysis, give me the key analysis in PowerPoint, and let me move on for my presentation. It's done. So if you have to report to that high level of senior roles and you are making errors. So today, the sales manager goes to present into the board and you're giving him a figures that the board can see that no, this is not possible. Right? Just do what I was trying to do a repeat pivot table analysis now. And the pivot table is telling me total number of respondents is 990. If I didn't cross check to see what exactly is this pivot table doing, where is this figure coming from, right, and correct that, I could have proceeded with that 990. So if you're working for an organization and you present, a value that is inaccurate, and the person goes to present that to the board, you know that once they are coming out of that meeting, your job is just hanging on the line or on a prayer point, right? So it's very important that you cross-check your analysis, right? Check the value. When you see a particular value that is really high, go back and check it again, right? Just to be sure that this value is what it is. And when you notice things like that, flag them up early. Oh, I noticed so and so things in my analysis. I don't know what is going on. Flag it up to the necessary manager or whoever is in line, or whoever is handling what, or it could be another department that needs to go and check what they've done. Because as data analyst, you'll be working with different departments. You'll be working with software engineers, you'll be working with app users or app testers, you'll be working with data engineers, you'll be working with all of these other project managers. So you need to go and check who is not doing their job that is giving us this particular output, from our analysis. So you need to be able to escalate when you see errors or when you see things that are called outliers. That means things that doesn't really look right or looks off, right? So you need to really report those as quick as you can so that they can really check whether the error is from you or coming from another place. But when you have an analysis and you're so sure that this thing you've done it well, and you only for you to go to a meeting to find out that what you've done is actually not accurate. Just one mistake as a data analyst rules the entire career for you, because to build that trust back again, it's really going to take a lot of work. Once people see that, oh, so I'm person this analysis, they'll be like, have you checked it? Have you cross-checked? Do you understand? Because in 2021, 2022, we have issues of data analysts being sacked. And I'll mention two cases that was trending on Twitter then. The first one was a lady that declared profit for an organization when the organization actually made loss that particular year, right? She declared profit and the CEO went ahead to, buy gifts, celebrate the start. They had like a party in the office, only for them to check later to realize that, oh, what she actually presented was for the previous year and not for the current year. Now, what happens to a CEO that already thrown, an office party because, oh, the team are working well and they are making profits? The girl was fired like on the spot. So that kind of girl now, to go to another organization with this mess, you see that she has to be extra careful. The work of a data analyst is like the work of a surgeon. right? If you go and cut one thing you're not meant to cut, or the person's life is hanging on the balance. So the organization you're working for, except you're doing it for yourself and you really don't mind just reporting anything for yourself, right? But if you really want to do data analysis for a company, you need to know that the company's life, the company's performance is hanging on you. So whatever you present is what it takes, because not every organization have the chance or have the time to double check. So you have to check and double check, right? So that when you're communicating, what you're communicating is credible, and that way you can build trust, right? For newbies starting in the career, I've said join a community, learn from the basics, go at your own pace. You are not running with anybody. Don't try and say, oh, I actually want to learn Excel in 3 months. If for you, it takes 6 months, please just go through it space time by time, at your own pace. If you can learn it in 1 month, that is beautiful, right? Do it in 1 month. If you can learn it in 2 months, do it. Go at your own pace. You're not in competition with anybody. You might go on LinkedIn and say a lot of data analysis here and there, everybody calling themselves a data analyst. But when it comes to the nitty-gritty of the job, you realize how much or how little they know. So go at your own pace. Don't be in competition or in an unhealthy competition with anyone or anything. At your own pace, make sure you're getting the depth of data analytics. Did I answer your question, Ismail? Did I answer your question? All right. So we've come to the end of this session. And before we wrap up, I would like to do I'd like to get a feedback. Right? I want to get a
Sorry,
feedback.
I think
Sorry,
you
I
should.
think you should.
I think you should do
I
an
think you
email.
should do
Let's
an
do an
email. Let's
email
do
to
an
them
email to
because
them
a lot of
because a
people
lot
have
of
left
people have
the
left
call.
the call.
So it's
Okay.
good
So it's
to
good to
do that
do
with
that
the
with
people that
the
actually
people that
attended,
actually
so you
attended. So
get
you
a very
get a
good
very good
feedback.
feedback.
All right, that's awesome. So I will send it to your email. Please do well to fill the feedback form. I would like to get feedback from this session. Thank you so much. If there are no questions, we would like to end this session here. Thank you. Thank you for staying till this time. I realize
Thank
a
you
lot of
so
Thank you
much.
so
Thank you
much.
so
Thank you
much
so much
for
for
facilitating this. I
facilitating
hope
this. I hope
well,
Thank you
we'll
so
see from the
much.
feedback if people were able to learn one or two things from the session. Thank you for doing this for us.
you're welcome. All right. Bye.
Thank you so much. Please, we are waiting the recording,
you
please.
recording, please.
Yes, everything will be sent.
Yeah. Because I really
I
suffered
really
network
suffer
issues.
network issue.
Everything will be sent to you. Thank you.